Welcome everybody to day 4 of climbing progression. Today we're going to be out at Interstate State Park in Taylor's Falls. But before we get out to that, I wanted to show you some changes here. What I did to my wall, kind of a little backdrop, kind of nice. As well as this board, which we're going to be going over at the start of every video. So this board just kind of has some goals for me on it. So we have 3 main categories: sleep, food, recovery, and prevention. So the sleep category will basically just show how many hours of sleep I got the night prior to that climbing day. Food will be 3 separate categories of no junk food, hitting protein, and veggies. Basically just 3 things on my diet that I sometimes struggle with and want to focus on more. Of course, every diet is flexible and you should be able to have things that you want. So I'm going to get a 1 sometimes in no junk food, and that's okay. As far as recovery and prevention goes, I haven't really been doing a whole lot of that recently, which is why it's on here, because I want to start kind of incorporating that in my rest days. And this will mostly be covering stuff that I do on my days off, not days of climbing. So for today's scores, for sleep, the night before I was a little excited, kind of was editing a video and shouldn't have stayed up so late, but I got 6 hours of sleep for the night before. So that's kind of a mid to poor rating, unfortunate. Food, we have no junk food. I actually did pretty well today. When I go outside climbing, it's a lot easier for me because I have what I bring with me. So for today's score, I'm going to give myself a 4. 4 only because I bring Belvita Crunchies out and I love those, and they're probably not the best for you, but that sucks. Hitting protein. For hitting protein, I did pretty well today. I brought protein balls and had eggs for breakfast and whatnot. So that protein, I'm going to give myself a 4 today. Veggies as well, going to be a 4 today. Brought vegetables, and my meal when I got back, I also had vegetables in it, so that was good. These definitely, hitting protein and veggies are ones that I hit pretty often, but like really still want to focus on. The no junk food is something that I've been struggling more with since I've moved home with my parents, because there's always junk food around, and when it's there, it's very tempting. Anyways, let's get into the climbing for today. We're going to be at Interstate State Park with Dylan, and one of his projects is Mike's Left, the sit start to that. So that's where we're going to be starting, and let's take it away. Here we are at our first boulder of the day. This is Mike's Left. This is one of Dylan's projects. We both agreed kind of that the stand start, Mike's Left, is probably not V7, more like V6. And the sit start is probably more like V8, not 9. But otherwise, here's my flash attempt at the boulder, and enjoy. Let's go. Yes. Moving on, I lost some footage of me doing the sit start. So this is footage from Mike's Right is what it's called. And I really wanted to save my skin for some other projects today, so I ended up not wanting to hold the small crimps. Here I'm climbing back again. I decided to resend the sit to Mike's because I wanted it on video. Barely grabbing that. Got about a quarter pad on the jug there. All right, meet me up here, Dan. And here Dylan goes. This is right after I sent it, and I'm trying to get him up it as well. Come on. Yep. Come on, you're good. Yes, Dylan, come on. Yep. Come on, it's right here. Come on. Come on, Dylan. No! From there we moved on to, this is called Humpy Hump. It's a V10. I've tried this one before and it felt absolutely impossible. And then I went on it today, and from these attempts you can't tell, but it actually felt pretty decent. I gave a lot of attempts at this foot move, finally stuck that. That felt impossible last time I was here. Still gotta like nail in the intro moves, and then this last move I think is also gonna be pretty tough, but it was good to get some work on this and see it as a future project. Now we move on to left of Lloyd's. So this is, as it says in the description, like a fabled V11 at Interstate State Park. Very classic. Super cool movement. However, I could see this as a 10. The guidebook puts it at 10 as well. But either way, still definitely going to be a project coming up here pretty soon.
That foot is so bad.
This first move, it's basically two moves. First move is very tough. Second move, also very tough, but the footwalk in between is what's really getting me. So when I was attempting this boulder, it really didn't feel all that difficult.
I hit it back.
Even though you can't really tell that because I'm falling on every attempt. But I just like wasn't that psyched on it today. So there just wasn't like 100% effort, which unfortunately meant that it kind of just didn't really go together.
Oh my God.
Now moving on, while I was on left of Lloyd's, Dylan was initially trying the sit version that's right next to it, but then he got bored of that and he moved on to just some random routes that were down the path. This is a V5 right here, and Dylan's blocking it a little bit, but some nice slopers and actually decent movement, probably like a 2-star problem. Also, all of the grades and ratings that I put in the video are going to be my own opinion, so that's why they might not match the mountain project description I'm putting up. This one was definitely pretty fun though. Oh.
This is going to be ugly.
So now we're on King of Thumbs. This one, I had absolutely no idea what the grade was before I got on it. Dylan just said there's a sit start right to the left of Slopey Arete, and I wanted to try it. So I just got on it, gave it a few burns, and then here we are. Unfortunately, this attempt is pretty sloppy, so I am actually gonna give it another rip here in a sec. Get a little cleaner attempt. Much cleaner. So next we're moving on to the B2 pit. So a lot of these routes were like underwater, but luckily the two that we wanted were actually the only ones that were dry. So this is B2, a V4, and this is my flash attempt. after that flash, I moved on. It's right to the left, a wing and a prayer. This one, although it may not seem super close, felt very close, and in my first attempt here I actually got pretty far. And this, I'm definitely looking at a future potential project like this one, and then the one at Black River Falls that you saw me on in day 2, I think it was. It's kind of hard to see the crimp in these videos, but my hand is like centimeters away from the crimp most of the time. And this was at the end of the session, and we had already been climbing for like 4.5 hours, so I was kind of tired, and I'm very excited to come back to this one fresh and give it some really good rips. For the rest of this though, you'll just see me trying this lock off move until my finger starts to hurt and I call it quits. So that's going to cut it for today's video. It was a fun day at Interstate. We got some good climbing in. My intentions for the day were to scout some new projects, and I definitely got to do that. Try 3v10s/211s, which the 2/11s are definitely going to be future projects that we'll see in the coming months here on this channel, hopefully go down. Otherwise though, I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all tomorrow for day 5. Peace.